Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Yoga with a kick of cardio is exactly that. We will get the heart rate up throughout this practice as the muscles are strengthened and our balance is challenged. As an added bonus, core work is incorporated at the beginning, middle, and end of this class. So let's get started. We're going to start in tabletop, and we're going to first warm up our fingers, wrist, hand area for our flow today. So I want you to lift your palms off the floor and just put your fingertips on the floor and do a gentle press release into the fingertips, stretching them out, stretching out the ligaments and tendons, and then press into the palms, lean forward so you're right over your wrist, and then rock side to side. Lifting the edges of your hands as you rock the weight through the hands. Then turn your fingertips inward towards each other and gently rock side to side. Then bring your palms up and the fingers towards your body and slide them close to your knees. Press the backs of your hands towards the mat. And then rotate and wiggle your elbows. Try to rotate your elbows forward and then in towards each other. Get a little stretch through that forearm. Then we're going to take the hands, keep the fingers facing your body, but just flip the hands over so the palms go down and now the front of the elbows are facing the front of your mat. And then do a little gentle bend and straighten of your elbows so your elbows are bending backwards towards your body, or away from the front. So you're stretching, again, the back of those forearms. And then one more time, flip them back over so the backs of your hands go onto the mat, fingertips face your body, and then rotate those elbows. That little stretch going on there. And then flip the fingertips back to neutral, spread them out, come back to your tabletop. And one more rock side to side. Breathing, keeping that belly and the spine, everything level, the belly is in tight. And then find your neutral spine. We're going to draw the knees all the way together and now drop your hips gently side to side. So just get nice and warmed up through the upper body, the lower body, the hips. And then come back to neutral, and now you're going to draw circles, drawing your hips back towards your heels and then out to the side and then to the other side. So draw big circles with your lower body as you slide back and then slide back over your hands, slide your hips backwards to the left and then cross to the right. Big circles. Feel that nice stretch through the hips. One more circle and then we're going to switch direction. And then change direction the other way. Circling things around. One more. And then we're going to find our neutral tabletop, separate the knees under the hips, spread out those fingers, cat-cow. So we're going to lift the head, lift the tailbone, arch the back. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, round. Push through the tops of the feet, tuck the chin. And then inhale, lift and open. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, round. Then find your neutral spine again. This time I want you to pull the belly button into the spine as tight as you can. Try not to lean to one side as you extend your right arm straight out to the front of your mat. Thumb is to the sky. And then extend that left leg out, extended tabletop. And just hold. Try to level out your body weight between that right knee and the left hand. And we're breathing, keeping the hips level. Level out that left hip, but lift that left leg. Now pull your elbow and your knee together to meet underneath and then extend underneath and extend. We're doing 4, so 2 more, and extend. Last one, extend and hold. Now look forward towards the front of your mat. Take your right arm, reach it to the back of your mat. Bend your left knee, grab hold of your left foot if you can, and then open up that chest. Looking forward, feeling that nice stretch and balance. The belly is working. Slowly, we're going to let go of the foot, extended tabletop. Look back down at your thumb on the floor, and then bring your right hand to the floor and then your left knee. Find your cat-cow again, lifting and opening the chest, lifting the tailbone, arching the back, breathing in. Exhale, round, push through the tops of the feet, and then inhale, lift, and then last one, round. Finding your neutral spine. We're looking at your right thumb on the floor. Extend the left arm forward to the front of your mat, right leg to the back. Extended tabletop. And just breathe. And then we're going to pull the elbow and knee together under the belly and then extend it out. Bring it in. Maybe inhale as you extend. Exhale as you crunch it under. And extend. We have one more. And inhale, extend. Take your left hand, reach it backwards. Bend your right knee. Maybe reach for your foot if you can. Looking forward, extending up and breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Find your stability and your strength. And then we're going to release, extend all the way out, and then bring the hands and the knee to the floor. Good. Make any adjustments with the wrist if you need to. We're going to walk the hands a little bit in front of us. We're going to shift on to our knees forward, so we're over our wrist to a modified or variation of the plank. We're going to tuck the toes under, pull the belly in, and now pull your shoulders away from your ears. Feel the crown of your head pushing to the front of your mat. Now, option here is to straighten your right leg, pushing through your right toe on the mat, and then the left, coming to a full plank. Now, embrace the shakiness if you have any going on. Now, you're going to shift yourself back into a downward facing dog. And then back into that plank, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then back into that downward facing dog. And we have one more, back to that plank, and then back to a downward facing dog. And then you're going to walk out your feet, pedal it out, massage it out. Make sure those hips are moving a bit, and then we're going to find our plank again. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, find your stability. And you're going to bring your right hand, tap your left chest wall, put it back on the floor, and then take your left hand, place it on the right chest wall. Now, option to separate your feet, it will give you a little more stability. Try not to shift your body, and repeat 4 more times, tapping the chest, engaging the core, trying not to shift too much. Good. 4 more taps, 2 on each side. And then 2 more taps, 1 on each side. Excellent. Now we're going to find our downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet again, press into the fingertips. We're going to get that heart rate up today, then draw up into the toes, heels up, back into those heels, bend those knees, step, hop, or walk. Both feet forward to a forward fold. And just breathe here. Hang it out. Maybe hold on to the elbows. Shift your body side to side. And then place your hands on your shins. Lengthen the arms, flatten the back. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. You take a nice inhale. And then we're going to exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, soften or bend the knees, rise all the way up. Slight back bend, exhale, palms to heart space. Find your mountain. Good. Toes facing to the front. Palms are open. Check in with the body. Feel the feet grounding into the earth as we mentally prepare for our flow and some cardio, getting the heart rate up. Inhale the arms to shoulder level. Good, turn the palms down. Take your right arm under your left, cross them in front, find your eagle arms. Now option here, if it's very challenging to go here, you can always vary it by placing the hands on the shoulders. Release those shoulders down just gently, a little further away from the ears, and then twist to your left. And twist to your right. And then back through the center. Unwind the arms, stretch them out, palms down. And then bring the left arm underneath the right. Eagle arms. And again, option to place the hands on the shoulders and stack the elbows. For a variation, turn to your right, upper body, and then turn to the left. Just warming up through those shoulders and upper body a little more, stretching them out. And then release those arms out to the side. Turn the palms up. Inhale, reach the fingertips, tap them above, and then exhale, tap them behind your back. Interlace those fingers, chest expansion. Check in with your chin that it's not jutting forward. We're bringing it in alignment and we're not overarching the back. Take a deep breath in. Option, lift those toes. And then exhale, relax the toes, add a forward fold. Lifting those arms, bend those knees slightly. And then very slowly release the fingertips back to the floor. Step, hop, or walk, feet back to plank. And breathe. Now on your next exhale, I want you to pull the elbows as close to the ribs as you can as you lower down for your chaturanga. Belly to the floor, untuck the toes, baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes back under, press up to a downward facing dog. Right leg comes up, three-legged dog, and then we rotate that right knee so the knee is bent and massage out that hip. And then change direction, circle that right leg the opposite way. Then take that right leg, extend it way up behind you. Three-legged dog, level out your hips. Then take that right knee, bend it, and bring it forward between your hands. Pivot the left foot back, find your warrior one. Rising up, thumbs to the back of the mat. And then exhale all the way back down. Back toe down, step back to plank. Slowly lower, chaturanga. Option this time you can do baby cobra or upward facing dog. Supported on the thighs or unsupported on the toes, downward facing dog. This time the left leg comes up, bend the knee. Circle that leg, loosen up that hip, and then change direction. And then extend that leg straight out behind you, three-legged dog, level out the left hip. And then bend that knee, pull that left foot between the hands, pivot onto the right foot, warrior one. Coming up nice and strong, palms apart, thumbs towards the back of your mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to plank. Slowly lower elbows into the rib cage, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hopefully you're getting a little warmer now. So let's start to increase our tempo. We're going to inhale the right leg up, and then we're going to bring it between the hands. Find your warrior one. Lifting up. Palms together, optional. Biceps to the ears. 2 breaths here. Open to warrior two. Relax those shoulders. Breathing. Extend the arms front and back. Check in with the big toe on the right. You can see it. You're going to take that back left arm, bring it forward towards the right hand. So palms are facing each other, thumbs up. Pivot off of your back heel. Left back heel comes off, you're on the toe. Lift to crescent lunge. Find your balance. Now here is where we're going to start to flow a little more. You're going to sweep your arms down behind you as you lean forward. And then you're going to lift up and open And you're going to exhale back down, lower your lunge, lower the back knee closer to the floor, get a little deeper. Inhale, press up. One more, we're doing 3. Bend that back knee slightly, lower down, lean forward. Inhale up. Good. Front knee is bent. Try to push into that back heel even though it's off the floor. And then exhale both hands to the floor. Step back with the right foot. And then pivot onto the outside edge of that right foot, coming to a side plank. Arm is up. And then turn, when your left arm is up, turn your palm to face the back wall. And then bend the elbow and slide the back of your hand into your low back and open up that chest. And breathe. Option is to have your right knee on the floor for a variation. Drop those hips gently up and down. Working the core and our strength. One more. Lift the hips. Release that left arm up. Come back to plank. Chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, make adjustments. Find your breath. Sometimes we get flowing and we forget to breathe. Soften the knees, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then bring that left leg up. And then we're going to bend the knee, bring it between the hands, come up to warrior 1. Left foot forward, right leg back. Palms face each other, thumbs to the back. Variation options to bring the palms together. Pull the biceps towards your ears. You're breathing, stretching through that back right hip. And then we are going to open to warrior 2. Step further back, feet to an L. Open up your body to the side of your mat. Take a peek at your left toe that you can see it. Reach those arms front and back. Breathe, shoulders down and back. Looking over to the left fingertips. Take your right hand, reach it forward towards your left. Pivot off your right toe, heel, toes on the floor, lift up to crescent. Find your balance. So good for the nervous system. Now you're going to sweep the arms down, lean forward, and then inhale, lift up. Keep that balance. Good, we're going to lean forward, sweep the arms back, bend that back knee a little deeper. Press up, find your crescent. Front knee is bent, back leg as straight as you can. And last one, come down, lift up. Now you're going to take both hands to the floor, all the way back down. Step back into plank, pivot onto the outside edge of your left foot. Right arm comes up. Option is to lower your left knee to the floor for a variation. Turn your palm, reverse it so your thumb is facing your foot in the palm to the back of the wall, and then you're going to bend your elbow, place the back of your right hand on the low back, and then lower and lift those hips. Embrace the shakiness and find your breath. That's number 4. Lift those hips, release the arm up into the air, and then find your plank. Elbows into the rib cage, slowly lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out those feet. And breathe. So from here, we're going to take the right leg up, bring it between the hands, lower that left knee, tap the floor. Then lift it off the floor, bring the left knee to foot to meet the right foot to a forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees, right foot goes back to that low lunge, then left foot to plank. Option, you can do a full vinyasa flow here, like belly in, elbows in, or you can go straight to downward facing dog. Either way, you can lower and then lift, and then transition to down dog, or just go there. When you get there, pressing into the fingertips and the palms, pull the shoulders away from the ears, lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, pull the left foot between the hands. Tap the right knee on the floor, and then bring it straight, and then bring it forward. So you're in a forward fold, feet close together. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knee, left foot back, lunge. Right foot back, plank. Chaturanga, lowering down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. You're going to shift to your plank again. This time you're going to lift your left foot off the floor. Tap it to the outside edge of your right foot. Cross it over and hold it. One-legged plank. Lift it off, hold it in the air, and then place the left toe on the floor. Lift your right foot off the floor. Cross it over your left ankle or tap it to the outside of your left foot. Figure out which side's stronger. Release it, hold it in the air, toe down. Shift back to your downward facing dog. Step, hop, or walk, both feet forward, forward fold. Take your time. If you need to get your feet up there, hang out. You can hold your elbows, you can just sway. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. One more vinyasa flow. Step, hop, or walk both feet back to a plank, to chaturanga. An extra push up in there. And then a chaturanga to an up dog. And then a down dog. Deep breath in. Up onto the toes. Exhale. Bend the knees. Step, hop, or walk. Both feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Slight back bend. Exhale, palms to heart space. Open to mountain. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, both arms up. Interlace the fingers. Index fingers pointing to the sky. Take the right foot back. Find your pyramid. So the feet are only about 1 to 2 feet apart. Both toes are facing the front. Extend the body upward and start to lean slightly back. And then exhale, lean forward. Find your pyramid, fingers still interlaced. And breathe. Level out your hips, pull that right hip forward. And then exhale, hands forward. You can use blocks here. You can have your hands on your shins. Find your pyramid. Feel that stretch in the hamstring on that left leg. Then start to bend your left knee. Kick the right leg up. Find your warrior 3. Level out the right hip. And then from here, you're going to pull the knees to meet each other like a little crunch. And then extend that right leg back. And then pull it in and crunch. And extend it back. We have 2 more to go. Pull it in. Hands come to heart space or in towards the chest. Extend. 1 more. Again, finding that balance. One side might be easier than the other, then your warrior 3. And then the hands go to the floor. Take your right foot all the way back onto the floor. You can do this. And then you're going to step the left foot back. Now from here, we're going to pivot onto our left foot, outer edge. Come up to your side plank. Now we're going to change it up a little bit. So we're doing pressing into now put your inside of your right foot on the floor. Take your left foot and kick it out to the front, the side. So you're doing a tripod. So your left leg is sticking out underneath. And then lift the hips. Now option to lift your foot up and down off the floor. The left leg. And then tuck it back under. Find your plank. Shift to your downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Rise up on the toes. Exhale, lower the heels, bend the knees, step, hop, or walk. Both feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart space. Open to mountain. Inhale the arms up. Interlace the fingers, index fingers pointing to the sky. Open up the chest. Good. Take the opposite leg back. So now that would be the left foot back, right leg forward. And breathe, open up that chest, lift and open. So you're in pyramid, 1 to 2 feet apart with those feet, both feet facing forward. Start to hinge at the hips, push your bottom backwards as you lean forward. Lengthening through the spine. Feel the stretch through that right back of the thigh. Level out your left hip and then release your hands to the blocks, your shin, the floor, whatever works for you. Now you're going to soften and bend that front right knee. Lift the left leg up, find your warrior 3. Level out the hips. And then we're going to bend the knee, pull the knee together, left knee to right knee, crunch, and then extend out. We got 3 more. Pull it in, extend out. Getting that leg strength in and out. We have 1 more. In and out, extend. Good, bring the fingertips to the floor. Bring your left leg way out behind you to a low lunge and then step back to plank. This time we're gonna pivot onto the right edge, but you're gonna bend so both feet are on the floor, but the inside edge of your left foot is on the floor. Lift those hips and push them forward. Slide your right leg out to the front, in front of you. And you can stay there or you can try to lift and lower that right leg to work that core and those leg muscles. 1 more. And then slide that foot back. And we're going to find our plank position. And then slowly lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So right leg comes up, 3-legged dog. And then bring it forward. Find your warrior 1 as we breathe in and up. And then you're going to exhale once you get there, and then inhale and rotate to warrior 2. Nice exhale. And then an inhale, straighten both legs, and the arms come up. Exhale, bend into that front knee, drop your forearm to the thigh, extend the left arm way over your ear, and open up the chest. Now we're going to hold it here for a moment. Look up now towards your hand that's reaching out over your head. Look up at that hand. Good. Then we're going to take the hand off of the thigh and extend it up with it and see if you can tap the fingers and hold them together and then slide your top elbow behind that ear. Breathe. And then slide your whole body straight up to the sky. Fingertips are still touching. Lower those shoulders. Extend the arms to warrior 2 and breathe. Watch that front knee. Make sure you can see your big toe. Windmill both hands to the floor. Step back to plank. Nice and strong. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale it out. Lift the left leg. Bend the knee. Bring it between the hands. Find your warrior 1. Draw it up. Bring those fingertips together. You're coming up and you're breathing in and you're taking a nice exhale. When you're on your next inhale, pivot to warrior 2. Extend it out. Separate the feet even wider. Left knee to the front of the mat. Right toe to the side of the mat. Shoulders relaxed. Good. On your next inhale, drop the forearm to the thigh. Reach the right arm over your head. Lengthen. Check in with the body. Notice the difference. See about bringing that top right shoulder back and down. Really rotate. Maybe your heart rate's up. Maybe your muscles are firing. This is a good thing. Now, option 2, take your left hand out and bring the fingertips to touch. Slide that top elbow over the ear. And breathe, embrace the shakiness. Lift the whole body straight up and down. That front knee is still bent. Release the hands to warrior 2. Reaching them out. And now you're going to windmill the hands to the floor. Now take your back foot and step forward with it to a forward fold. And just breathe here. Find your breath. Let your head hang heavy. Shake it out. Yes and no. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Touch the fingertips, palms to heart space. Open to your mountain. We're going to add another balance challenge here. So stay facing the front of your mat. And you're going to put all your weight into the right foot. We're going to work towards tree. So you're nice and tall, grounding into that right foot on the floor. Open up the left knee. Bring it out to the side, how facing here. So you're grounding into the right, open up that left knee. And then you're going to bring the foot either to the ankle. You can put a block there. If you have challenge with balance, you can also hold a wall. Bring your foot maybe to the shin, right below the knee, or you can bring it above the knee. If we touch the knee, it's just with the toe, no pressure on that knee joint. And pressing that foot into the thigh. Press the thigh and the foot together. Arms can be open. You can have the palms at heart space. Lengthen through the spine. Find a focal point out in front of you, like a dristi. That's a non-moving focal point. Option 2 is to raise your arms all the way up. And you can even bring them together and interlace them, pressing your biceps into your ears. And focus on that breath. Think about shoulders relaxing. And it's kind of nice to get a stability, balance posture in when your heart rate's up just a bit, because you can really tune into that breath. One more breath. We're slowly going to release the fingertips. Let them float down nice and wide if they were above your head. All the way back down. And then I want you to bring that foot slowly off of the knee, the foot off the leg, bring the knee forward. Just hover here for a moment with that left knee up in the air, and then slowly lower it to the ground. Now grounding into the opposite foot. Lengthen the spine. Open up that right hip. Open up the knee. Foot can be on the floor or the shin, again, or above the knee, but barely touching the knee if you choose to do the knee. Or use a block or a wall. Open up the arms, open up that hip. Find your dristi. Option to bring the palms to the heart space. And then option to raise your arms up. You can have them open for your tree pose. You can interlace the fingers, pressing the biceps into the ears. Maybe you feel the body calming a little now on the second side. Heart rate's coming down just a bit. And breathing. How are the muscles? Are we shaking? How's that strength? One leg easier than the other. One more breath. And then let your arms float down nice and wide. Bring the knee forward. Let it hover. And then bring both feet to the floor. So we're back. At the front of your mat, nice and tall. Find your mountain. Open it up. Take a deep breath in. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive. Bend the knees. Step or hop or walk back to your plank. From here, elbows, turn them towards the front of your mat and pull your elbows backwards towards your rib cage as you very slowly lower into your chaturanga. Try to hold it right above the floor. And you're welcome to be on your knees here and try to focus on that breath, strengthening the upper body, and then lower to the belly. Untuck the toes, option for an upward facing dog, and then a downward facing dog. Now we're going to take that right leg up, three-legged dog. Now you're going to bring that right knee towards your nose, around through the back. And then you're going to send it back up, three-legged dog. And now you're going to bring that knee to the right elbow. Try to tap it to the elbow or the tricep, hold it there, and then extend it back up. And then bring that knee across the body to the opposite elbow. Little twist here. And then send it back up. Now you're going to bring that right knee towards the right wrist on the floor, but then the ankle towards the left hand, sliding into our pigeon. Staying nice and tall, tuck the back toe under and lift as tall as you can. Then you're going to lift out of your pigeon, send that right leg all the way back up, and then pull back into the same pigeon again. Right leg in, slide it back a little deeper. We're going to do that one more time. Send that right foot up, three-legged dog. So good for the hips and getting up and down off the floor. And then send that right knee in and slide back into that right hip. And then you can melt forward into your pigeon. You can stack your hands, you can walk them forward, you can untuck that back left toe. And just breathe here. Now, option, you can always do a reclining pigeon. So maybe you were trying to get into that and it was a little challenging. So reclining pigeon, you can always lay on your back. You can hold the thigh or the shin. So you have options. So that right leg, ankle is over the left thigh for reclining pigeon. Otherwise, you're here and you can still put a yoga block under your right hip or a pillow or a blanket just to help you get more comfortable. One more breath here. Now after you're full round that last breath, we're going to walk the fingertips towards the shins. We're going to lift the upper body, push into the top of your back left foot. See if you can lift that back knee slightly off the floor, really lengthening through that left hip. And then let the knee relax, the thigh back on the floor. Option to bring maybe your left hand to your heart space, maybe your right, maybe both. And just breathe for a moment. And then both hands to the floor. Tuck your left toe under. Let's find our three-legged dog. Right leg is up. Make adjustments. With that leg straight and long, just draw big circles towards the back wall with the legs level, the hips level, excuse me. The right leg is back, left foot's on the floor. And then bring your right foot to the floor and pedal your feet, walk your dog, shift your hips. Now, are you so excited we could do this on the other side? Spread out those fingertips and melt your right foot to the floor. Lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is bring that left knee to the nose, round through the back. And then we're going to extend it up. And then you're going to bring your knee to the left elbow or tricep and hold it there. And then extend it up. And then bring that knee towards the right elbow. And then extend it up. And then you're going to bring your knee towards the left wrist. Foot towards the opposite hand, slide into your pigeon. We're going to do this 2 more times. So take your time. You're going to come up, tuck your right foot under, lift all the way up to three-legged dog, and then slide that left knee forward again and slide back into that pigeon. See if you can get a little deeper each time, and then try it again. Slide it all the way back up, three-legged dog, and then back into your pigeon. And slide that right foot back, and then untuck that back toe. Find that space. Lift through the upper body first, melt into your left hip, and then walk the hands forward. Now, option, you can stack your hands, you can reach them out. And again, if that is too challenging and it hurts your knee or your hip, please feel free to cross your left ankle over your right thigh and try a reclining pigeon. It's all about what your body wants to do in your practice. You never want to force anything. You want to challenge yourself, but never go over your edge where you're causing yourself pain. Things can be challenging, but we don't want them painful. One more breath here. Really feel that body melting towards the mat. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the shin. Open up that chest. Find that length. Push into the top of your right foot and lift that right knee off the floor if you can. Really stretch it out. Stretch that hip. Then let the leg go back to the floor. Bring your right thumb to the heart space, or your left, or try both. And maybe and one side might be easier than the other. This one is not wanting it on this side today, and that's okay. Some days are way easier than the other. We're gonna tuck our back right toe under, place those hands pretty wide on the mat so you get secure as you lift and readjust to that left leg back up, three-legged dog. Level out your hips, point your foot to the back wall, and big circles. Circle, circle that left leg, and then change direction. And then bring that foot to the floor, pedal out your feet. Walk it out. And then melt into your downward facing dog. Push into those fingertips, soften the knees. Look back at your knees or your toes or your belly. And here we breathe as we relax the shoulders. Notice what's going on in the body. Are you sweating a little now that your body's starting to calm down? That's okay. We want to detoxify here. Back up into the toes, lift those heels, back into the heels. We're going to slowly lower our knees towards the floor, but don't let them touch, and slide your hips back towards your heels. Then you can lower your knees apart, feet together, slide into child's pose, belly between the thighs, head to the floor. And just breathe here. And we're going to gently lift, cross those feet, transition into a nice tall seated position. Feet are crossed, either one in front. Lift up nice and tall, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Place your right hand on the floor, and then lift your left arm overhead and reach it over to the right. And just breathe here, stretch it out. And then slowly transition to the other side and reach it over. Just calming the body, stretching it through the sides. And then come back through the center. Inhale, both arms up. Touch the fingertips, and then exhale, reach to your right. Twisting through the spine, holding onto the thigh. And then you're going to take a breath in. We're going to reach it up, touch the fingertips, and then exhale to the other side. Nice twist. And then coming back to the center. Now we're going to turn back to the front of our mat, unless you're already there. Heels on the floor, toes up, pull the shoulders back and down, start to lengthen through the spine. Find your boat. Option to let it go, option to float and hold on, or option to let it go while you float. Shoulders back and down. Really engaging that core, making sure you're not going into that low back. So really lengthening and breathing. Option to pull the feet all the way together, and then maybe straighten the legs and point the toes, and then turn those palms up as you lengthen through the neck and the spine. Embrace the shakiness. Point those toes. Option to lift the arms out to the side, lift the body a little higher. And breathe. So bring your left foot higher than your right. Lower your right just a little, right above the floor, engaging that core, and then switch the legs. Really engaging, not going into that low back again. Find your strength, your power. Pull the fingertips together to heart space. Pull the knees in and level out your shins. And breathe. Press the palms together. Pull the shoulders down. Twist towards your left, almost going to the floor. And then to the right. And then from here, we're going to hug the knees, roll onto your back, pull the knees into the chest, and then bring your knees 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. So they're level. Shins are level. Bring your fingertips behind your ears, nice and wide, so they're not interlaced. And you're going to separate your knees about hip distance apart. And you're going to keep your elbows wide the whole time. I want you to press your right foot to the front of your mat, but not touch the floor. Pull the left knee in tighter. Now take your left, you're going to lift your chest. You're going to rotate to the left knee, but don't let your right elbow fall in. Keep it open the whole time. And then come back through the center and switch. So a lot of times people pull the elbow across. Do not let the elbow come across. Keep it open, just twist through your chest. And then switch sides. We're doing a very slow, controlled bicycle. Don't pull the elbow in, keep it wide. So you're twisting using the oblique muscles, not the arms. Switch sides. And then switch sides. So if you go slow and you keep those arms open, see, I even tend to drop that elbow. Try to keep it open. The one that's coming up, keep it open and wide. One more each side. Don't forget to breathe. Working those obliques. And then we come back to center. Head comes to the floor, hug the knees. Tuck your chin, round like a ball. Now you're going to bring your fingertips back behind your head. Support your head, let it come all the way to the floor. Bring your knees about level again, and really push your low back into the mat. Now, if you're feeling your low back, then you would pull your knees in a little tighter so you can push that back into the floor. I never want you to feel your low back here. This is very good for the transverse abdominis, the belly, low belly. Tap your right toe to the floor, keep the knee bent, slowly bring it back up. Try the other side, and then bring it back up. Now try the heel, right heel, and bring it back up. Now as you're going down, if your low back comes off the floor, don't let your foot go as far. So the toe tap, bring it up. Toe tap on the left, bring it up. You gotta go slow on this. Right heel tap, bring it up. Left heel tap, bring it up. Extend the legs to the sky. And then heels together, squeeze the thighs. Start to lower your legs until you start to feel your back come off the mat. Now, if your back starts to come off the mat, that's where you stop. Some of you might be able to come down low, some of you are up high. It doesn't matter, and one day can be different than the other. And breathe and just hold it there. And then hug the knees into the chest. And relax those shoulders. Go ahead and place the slide the left leg to the front of your mat. Let it rest on the floor as you hug that right knee into your chest. Then we're going to switch legs. Feel that nice stretch all the way through the belly, through that hip flexor. Now you're going to place your left foot on the floor, the knee is bent, and then bring your right knee and right foot into the floor, nice and flat. Fingertips out to the side like cactus arms. Walk the shoulders away from the ears. And then you're going to lift your hips to a bridge. And breathe. And really lengthen through that spine. Arms are open. Feel that nice stretch to the belly. And then slowly lower those hips back to the floor. Keep your arms, cactus arms, or you can take them out like a T to the side, whatever feels good to you. Walk your feet as wide as your mat, and then drop both knees to your right and look to the left. A nice twist. Really feeling it through the core, maybe through that hip. Walk those shoulders down if they're up by your ears. You might be thirsty, get a drink if you need a drink of water. And then we're gonna slowly bring your head to neutral, hips back to neutral, lift those knees. Keep the feet as wide as your mat. Turn your head to the right as you drop your knees to the left. A nice twist just to ground ourselves, calm everything. Continue breathing slow, long, deep, gentle breaths through your nose. And then bring the head back to neutral and bring those knees up to neutral. Walk the feet in about till they're touching and knees are touching. Slide the arms way overhead and then straighten out the legs, full body stretch. Reach it out. And then you're gonna bring the hands next to the body. Let the legs fall open. Walk the shoulders away from the ears. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. Find your Shavasana. Feel the body calming as it melts into the mat. And notice what your body's feeling. Do you feel like you have you're nice and warm, ready to go? Do you feel like you had a good workout? Everybody's a little different. Make sure you drink a lot of water today after this to hydrate. Slow the breath, breathing in nice and slow, long and deep through the nose, and slowly let it out through the nose. Then just take a moment in the silence. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing yourself back to your present moment. Notice whatever mind chatter you might have had going on. And you're welcome to stay in there in your Shavasana, or you can bend your knees, you can hug your knees into your chest, you can roll to the up or to the side, or stay there and keep your eyes closed. It's up to you what you want to do. We're going to come up though. If you are coming out of your Shavasana, come to a nice tall seated posture. Pull the shoulders back and down, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, tall and tight. Engaging that core, palms down on the thighs. Draw the chin into alignment. Feel the energy running through your body. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead, fingertips touching. Exhale to palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.